it is a fresh year of movies. We are in January at last, and I know I have been horrible about it in the past years, but I vow that I'm going to try my hardest to watch as much new movies as I can this year. I think I barely watched any new movies last year. I could probably count on my hand how much new movies, like 2025 movies, I watched. It wasn't very many, and I don't think I made barely any reviews. But I'm going to try to stay consistent. I'm going to try to watch as much movies that I'm interested in. I'm not going to watch everything. I only watch what I'm interested in. So I'm not just going to watch anything and everything just so that I can get a review out there. But there's a lot of horror movies coming out that I am interested in, and some other action type movies that I'm interested in. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try my hardest to stay up with the year and watch at least maybe a couple movies a month, new movies a month. We're kicking it off strong with Primate that dropped this first weekend of January. And we know how January goes, especially with horror movies. We pretty much expect bad horror movies, and I was expecting this one to be really bad. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as I thought. The bad one is the one I'm going to review tomorrow. I actually had a double feature. I watched Primate and We Buried the Dead. And out of the two, We Buried the Dead was definitely the dud. But my review for that should be tomorrow, hopefully, or the next day after you see this. But today we're going to be talking about Primate, the chimpanzee slasher movie, if you will. So this was directed by Johannes Roberts, I think is his name, which directed movies like 47 Meters Down and the sequel to it, which were okay shark movies back in the day. And I watched them. And then he also did Strangers Pray at Night, which is my favorite Strangers movie. I like it a little bit better than the first one. I do like the first one, but I think I like Pray at Night even a little bit better. So once I heard that, my expectations raised a little bit. I still expected this movie to be complete trash, but once I seen that he was working on it, it gave me a little bit of hope. I know he did a segment in VHS 99. I think it was last year or the year before, whenever that came out. I haven't watched any of the VHS movies, so I can't really say if I like that or not. But I did like Strangers Pray at Night, so it intrigued me. And I have to say, like I said, this movie was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So basically, it's exactly what you expect it to be. It's a slasher movie with the bad guy being a chimpanzee. And you have a pretty good cast here. It's mostly girls. There's one guy, but it's not really a character movie. Obviously, I hate talking about character. I try to stop myself whenever I talk about character, especially when I'm reviewing like slasher movies, because it's not really about that. It's about how entertaining it is. And I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't entertained. It's exactly what you expect it to be: a girl and her sister inviting friends over for a party. And or more, I guess the one sister inviting all of her friends over, and basically their pet chimpanzee gets rabies from a mongoose that breaks into its cage at night, and he slowly just becomes more and more rabid, more and more insane and out of control, and he just starts killing everybody. So on face value, that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what you get. So it's short, it's sweet, it's entertaining. There's some good kills in here for the gorehounds. They'll be satisfied. Everyone knows I'm not really a gorehound, so, and they didn't take it too far, so I was able to enjoy it without. Which, I mean, I can watch super gory movies. It's just not my style. But I thought they were good. There was a good mix of gore and kind of no gore kills, even though each kill had a little bit of gore as in its own. One of the really good actors that was in it was Troy Kotzer, which I don't think I've seen in anything else. He played the father of the daughters, and he is deaf. I don't know if he's deaf in real life. I don't know this actor, but if he's not, he played a really good deaf guy. He was really the only actor in the movie that kind of stood out to me as a good actor. You know, these movies are kind of just that you don't really watch them for the acting or for the performances, but I thought he was pretty good in it. And if you like enclosed kind of trapped movies, this was going to serve you perfectly well. It's perfectly entertaining. There's really no dull moment in the movie. Once the action starts pretty quick, and when it starts, it doesn't stop all the way till the end. The end is satisfying. It doesn't drag on too long like some of these movies do. It gets over with and it's done. Really a lot of good suspense moments. A little bit too much jump scares for my liking. I don't really like cheap jump scares, but it is the type of movie that it is, so I don't blame it for that. And a lot of people do like the jump scares, so I can't really knock it. But on the other hand, it still has a lot of good suspenseful moments. So you're on the edge of your seat, just waiting for something to happen, and so it mixes well with the jump scares, and I can forgive it for that. Most movies like the Conjuring franchise, there's really no suspense moments. It's all cheap jump scares. This one, it's not that. It has a good balance, so I can give it props for that. And it was basically just your basic slasher that we get almost every year. We at least get one of these movies a year, and we happen to get a pretty good one this year. I don't know if I would buy this one on physical media. I don't know if I'll check it out again. I may, but if you like animal gore, not really animal gore, but I guess rabid animals, this is a really good one for you. If you have an interest in rabies, I guess this shows a pretty good perception of what it can do and what it could be. It has a really cool scene where the dad actually mentions that rabies aren't even in Hawaii, which is where the film is set. So I thought that was interesting, and on how you're wondering how the rabies got there, which I guess it's never really answered. So maybe that's a plot hole, but overall, it was a good average movie, good for like a late night if you have nothing else to watch. You could throw it on. I think this one already is out on streaming. It's a lot to rent it right now. It'll go down, but this one I think it went straight to streaming, and you can check it out. So I don't know if I'd pay the full like $30 something they're asking for to rent it, but maybe when it goes down, check it out later in the year in a couple months when it goes down to like $5 to rent it. It's worth about $5 to check out, and it's a perfectly satisfying slasher movie that has not a whole lot of dull points, keeps you entertained for an hour and a half, and I'd give it like a 3 stars. So let me know what you guys thought of Primate. If you guys went and seen it, we'll have a discussion about it down in the comments. Let me know if your most anticipated horror movies coming this year, or any movie coming this year. I'm pretty excited to see the 28 Years Later Bone Temple coming out next weekend. I'm actually watching the 28 Days Later movies for the first time right now. So I'm really liking them, and I'm ready to see that one. Also, we got Scream 7 coming. There's a couple others. I know next weekend there's like 3 horror movies coming out. 2 others along with Bone Temple. So should be a big year. I'm going to try to watch more, like I said, and starting off pretty strong with Primate. Actually a little bit of a surprise movie. So maybe it's a good sign for the year. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be reviewing We Bury the Dead, which was the first dud of the year for sure. But I don't think it was a very wide release. I think it was more underground. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. I'll see you next time.